Hi everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and to give you a warm welcome to Passion Movement, the podcast. My name is Julia and this is definitely a long time coming. But again, I just want to say how grateful I am that you're here in this space with me, sharing this space with me as we kind of dive right into this. I don't want to talk about too many specifics, but as this is the intro episode, basically on this podcast we will really just be discussing everything and anything that has to do with life, really, the universe, business, entrepreneurship, mindfulness, success, spirituality, basically all of the different things and aspects of my life that I see that are important to me and important to others. And I'm really excited to share my words with you. So again, thank you for being here. For those of you who don't know me, like I said, my name is Julia. I am a mindset, success coach, consultant, whatever you want to call it, and I have been working with clients for quite some time, and I recently launched my group program called Passion Movement, and that's really where the name for the podcast comes through as well. We really help people find their passions, build a life around it, and really find genuine happiness through that. And so that's really kind of where the name for the podcast comes from as well. The passions that we have in our lives are so unique to us and so, I would say, incredibly important for us to identify and live authentically through that, because through passion, I feel like, is where we find purpose. For a long time in my life, I really felt very lost. I felt as though I was drifting. And for the most part of everyone I've really spoken to in the last 2-3 years, it seems that everyone, for the majority, really feels this way. We're told what to do, we go to school, we get a job, we start a family, have kids, retire, and I didn't see a problem with that. For my entire life, I never really saw a problem with that. I just assumed that that's how life is. That's really how many of us live our lives. But, as I was going through this journey of going to school and having a job and all these things, I just really felt like I was drifting. I was just going through the motions of what I was supposed to do, and I didn't question it. I didn't think that I was doing the wrong thing. I wasn't fulfilled, and I wasn't happy to wake up. I would wake up, honestly, ready to go back to bed again in the evening. And we'll definitely get back into, my whole story later on in the podcast, but a shift had happened in me in my life, and I dropped out of school. I had quit my job, and I decided I was going to figure out a different way to live. And that really is kind of what led me to where I am today. It really led me to this very moment with you now. So I'm really grateful for everything that, I've learned, I've experienced, and I've been able to guide others through. One of the biggest things that I feel has been pivotal in my life in bringing both fulfillment, happiness, joy, and just excitement to, be alive in the mornings, wake up with a song in my heart, genuinely, is finding my passion and living through that, which then ultimately led to me finding my purpose. And so that's really why my program and all my coaching has the word passion around it, because I really feel if we all follow authentically our passions, even if we don't know what they are quite yet, they lead to our purpose, and they lead, like I said, to fulfilling, emotionally satiating lives. And so we'll touch briefly here about how to find your passion, how to really move forward in finding your purpose in life, if that's something that you believe that that you have. I feel as though everyone is on this earth for some reason, whether we know it or not. And on this journey of finding your passions, ultimately what I found is the very first step in finding your passion, some of us are lucky enough to know our passions from childhood. I've had friends who've known what they've loved and are passionate about and wanted to pursue since they were a kid, and it was genuine. It wasn't other people influencing them or infiltrating their mind with what they should be doing, but they really truly knew. But for the most part, that's not the case for us, you know? So many of us are just like I was, drifting, not knowing what I really wanted, just going through the motions. And when you feel as though you don't have any passions, or you don't know what your passions are, but you feel like there's something, but you can't grasp it and you don't know what it is, I've found that passions evolve from hobbies, right? The things that we enjoy doing, because ultimately our passions are things that we love to do, that fulfill us, that, you know, doesn't have to have any type of reward or validation, especially external, around it. We just do it because we love it. And when I started really tapping into my hobbies and just finding new hobbies, trying new things, is really where I was able to find my passion for speaking and helping others, and diving into the different aspects of mind hacking and understanding how the universe works, really. But, you know, your hobbies are what are going to lead to your passions. So many of us work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and as soon as the weekend hits, right, or even if we're students, we're in school Monday to Friday and the weekend hits, and you spent the weekend escaping the life that you have. And it's understandable. Many of us don't want to be in school. Many of us don't want to be working deadbeat jobs 9 to 5, but we have to because we have bills to pay, right? It's not an easy thing to drop out of school and quit your job, especially when you have kids to feed, especially when you have bills to pay. And so we're kind of stuck in these cycles of having to do the things that we don't want to do. And in order to feel just slightly better about ourselves, we escape these lives that we have on the weekends. We party and we drink and we smoke and we hook up, really to do anything but to feel the feelings of dread and misery that the weekday has for us. And so a really, really big shift that had happened within me is I was living my life that way as well, right? As was everyone around me. But I had started on the weekends to dive into myself and understand what I like, because if I have free time on my hands, my first instinct was, let me go smoke, let me go drink, let me go hang out with friends and party. It's all I've ever known. It feels good in the moment. It certainly feels good in the moment. I'm not one to bash on partying or drinking or smoking, because it really does feel good. That dopamine that we get is incredible. But it had dawned on me, you know, I was sitting at home one weekend, not drinking, not smoking, not partying, by myself, and I had nothing to do. And a thought had sparked, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna go find some hobbies. I'm gonna figure out something enjoyable to do. I'm not working. I'm not in school. It's the weekend. And trying new things, right? Just simply going out into the world, just doing something random like, I don't know, rock climbing, going on a hike, reading a book, drawing, painting. Really anything that you haven't previously done but is stimulating to you, try it out. You know, you can try 5 different things in the next month, 5 different new things, and you're probably going to end up hating 4 of them, right? We try new things all the time, not knowing whether we're going to like them or not, and so you're going to end up finding a lot of things that you don't like, but in those 5 new things that you try, there's going to be one thing that you really enjoy doing, and then the next week comes and you're going to try that again. And eventually you've developed a hobby, and as you spend more time developing the skills and developing just the experience and the time in this hobby, you start to notice that you really, really love it. And, you know, lo and behold, passions come up. You start developing a passion for this hobby that you have, that you enjoy doing, that no one has to go and force you to do, and it's fulfilling to you, and it's stimulating, and you're not escaping your life. That's really the main thing here, is that when you are taking action within either your hobby or your passion, you're not escaping the life that you live, the life that you have. You're rather adding to it. You're complementing to it, right? It's just like relationships, and we'll definitely have a whole episode about that later on. But man, like, really finding your passions, everyone makes it very, very difficult, because how can I know what I want? I don't know what I want. I don't know what I like. How do I just know? Well, you have to just go and try. You quite literally have to go and try new things, and there will be so many things that you don't like to do. But there will be a few hand-picked things that you absolutely love, and they will become your passion. And as you spend more and more time, it will never feel like work to you, but you will start developing ways to make a life around it, and it's natural. It's not to say that you have to go and work around it. But from my own experience and from what I've seen with so many other people that I've worked with and just been in interaction with, your passions will naturally start bringing you opportunities, whether it's money or connections or, work, whatever it may be. The more that you really spend time doing the things that you're passionate about, the more that you're going to start seeing opportunities around it to build a life around that. And I think it's at that moment where a lot of people get stuck as well, because you start seeing opportunities centered around your passion that you could potentially build a life around, an emotionally fulfilling life around. But all you've ever known is a 9-to-5 job. All you've ever known is going to school and working and going home and paying bills. And so changing that whole structure, essentially breaking down the nature of reality as you know it, is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. You know you want to do it. You can feel your intuition telling you to go towards this opportunity, and yet the fear in your mind is often so much greater than that, and people get stuck. And so it's in that moment that, if you're listening to this and you feel like you know what your passions are, you see the opportunities that are possible with it, but you can't get past that hurdle of fear, I hope you hear this and take this as a sign to jump in. I'm sure you've all heard the saying, everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear, and as cliche, as corny as that sounds, it's so incredibly true. It's so incredibly true. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I really feel or use fear as a compass. When I feel fearful about making a decision, I feel fearful about taking an action, it's when I go and do that thing, because time and time again, life has proven that when I do the scarier thing, when I do the thing that I fear more, I reap the rewards so much greater, and my life changes, right? When we do the things that don't scare us, when we choose the opposite route, we're choosing the known. We're choosing to stay in the cycles and the patterns that we've always known, and it's natural. Our brain wants us to stay in the known. We want to have this control, or really this illusion that we think we have control over our lives, and the fear comes up based on not knowing what's ahead. There's potential opportunity, and there's potential reward, potential fulfillment on the other side, but it also comes with so much unknown and so many things that could potentially go wrong, right? But I promise you, if you've made it this far into your life, if you're alive right now listening to this, then every single obstacle and difficulty and unknown that has come into your life, you have gotten past it or are currently getting past it. So your success rate, your whole life, is literally 100%. You have never failed at something, truly failed, because otherwise you'd be dead. Your success rate is 100%. And so with that in mind, why fear the unknown if you've never failed anyway? You've made millions and millions of decisions, and if you've had dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of difficulties come up and obstacles come up, and you've still gotten past every single one. every single time your success rate has not faltered. And so do that thing that scares you. Take the opportunity towards your passion, because I promise you it will so be worth it. It will so be worth it. And as you continue to really step into those opportunities and continue to build a life around your passion, what you'll start to notice more and more is that you're going to develop the sense of purpose. You're going to start to understand why you're here, what you're doing, as if it's a mission almost, you know? It's an incredible feeling to really feel purpose in life, to have a reason for you being here, and to really wholeheartedly believe it. But it's very, very difficult to get to that point, of having a purpose and believing that you have a purpose and knowing what it is, until you take the leap, until you take the terrifying leap and follow your passions. And so I really kind of want to end it off here as the first episode, that if you want to find your passion, if you feel like you don't know what it is, you've got to develop some hobbies first. And if you don't have any hobbies, then you've got to go try new things. Those passions will lead to your purpose. That purpose will lead to an emotionally fulfilling life. That purpose will lead to you feeling satiated and excited and joyful, and wake up with a song in your heart every morning, excited to not only be alive, but to be able to experience another day. The joy that you feel when you wake up and are genuinely so happy, so grateful to be alive. You know, it's hard to put that feeling into words until you really experience it. And so I really hope that this message goes through, and if you're feeling scared to take the leap, but you know what you gotta do, try it out. You've never failed before. Your success rate is 100. I believe in you. You should believe in you. Because you have a purpose, and you came here for a reason, and your life is not supposed to be you just drifting through and doing what everyone else is doing. And if that's what you want to do, please. You know, I'm not bashing on 9-to-5 lives. I'm not bashing on the regular society. Without that, there would be no life. There would be no world. We would not function the way that we are now. But if you're listening to this podcast, very likely you are not one of those people, and you definitely see that there's a different way to live life. So follow that intuition. Take that leap. I believe in you. You got this. And again, thank you for joining me today. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Welcome again to Passion Movement. My name is Julia, and I'll see you guys soon.